I'm feeling great. I'm ready to begin with the tournament. I know it starts in a few days. I have some build up to it, and my eyes are to get past the first week.
Do you mind to say a few words about your first round opponent, Fucsovics? You played a few year ago in Barcelona, if I remember well.
Yes, he's an all-around player. He can play on all surfaces. He's someone that has played years and years on the tour, so I'm familiar with his game. I'm familiar with some of the big wins that he has achieved and scored and on the tour. Many of the players on the tour, describing him as a great competitor, and I truly believe that he stands by that. So he's definitely someone that's going out on the court. He competes. He likes to fight and live his best out there. He has had some great battles in big Grand Slam appearances. So my hope is to get out there and start forcing him to work hard for the points and to make a mark of my own on that court.
Normally saying there is no easy matches in the first rounds of Grand Slam, but do you see this one as even more difficult than, so you should get a little bit easier one?
Absolutely. I think it's a difficult first round match. We all work so hard. We all train hours on the court. We all want big things out of our tennis, and I don't think anyone wants to settle for anything less than a first round. So we are definitely all very eager to work hard and get past these rounds and go in deep runs and slams. So I'm definitely in the same sort of belief that he wants things as badly as I do. And men's tennis is a tough sport. There are a lot of men players that can play big, regardless of their ranking. They can all play at the very high level.
Hey, Stefanos, when you were a kid, which Grand Slam would you envision yourself winning when you would sort of play games in your head?
I remember saying to my brother, Roland-Garros and Wimbledon, because they are the two European Grand Slams. So my dream would be to win on the two surfaces that I consider the most difficult ones which would be the clay and the grass. These are surfaces that I find traditional, and they have been preserved over the years, and I think they hold significance in terms of the history of the sport itself. Like, clay is still kind of controversial. I feel like hard courts is a modern surface in tennis. It's not considered a traditional surface on its own. So my own dream is to try and be crowned the Grand Slam champion in these two Grand Slams, closer to my home too.
Steph, I know you'd won Monte-Carlo before, but how much confidence did you take out of that last time that you just won just a couple of weeks ago? Because it seems like you were playing some incredible tennis that week.
I was. My one-handed backhand was working very well. I was coming up with some great down-the-line shots, which were very consistent and accurate on big moments. I paid attention to that later during the week, that I was really in control of my backhand, and it was serving me really well on opening up the court and also attacking down the line. My forehand was a big weapon, which worked. I felt like the bounce was really benefiting me that week. Like, Monte-Carlo is known to have like a very lively, good feeling when you're able to generate that spin. It really, you can really do a lot of damage with it, and combining it with patience and great control. I mean, I had a week that was stellar, and I was able to really celebrate it at the end and feel those emotions that I felt the year before, or the year before, 2 years before, yeah.
And how have you learnt to pace yourself through Grand Slams now, Steph? Like, getting into routines, rhythms, do you feel like you're getting it right?
I need the routines in order to feel like I'm sane and I'm ready to go deep on a slam, because they keep me intact, they keep me on a nice smooth curve. where rehabilitation plays an important part on it. Routines are important. I feel like a lot of players have their own stuff going on. I have my own little routines that I do follow on a day-to-day basis, and it can get towards the end it can get kind of it can get monotonous because you're doing the same thing over and over again. But it is essential for you to follow these things, because tennis players are creatures of habit, and I've learned from experience that I need those things in order to keep on going.
Would you say it's the most open Roland-Garros regarding the title this week for many, many years?
Yes, I think so. We have a lot of players that can play good on clay, and the competition is always fierce in these courts. I believe that like this Roland-Garros is going to have some really intense, ecstatic matches this year. I feel it.
Do you see one favorite, maybe?
For Roland-Garros?
Yes, for this year.
I would probably say Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. I'm serious.
And just, did you have any feelings about whether Rafa's name was going to end up next to yours in the first round? Would you have liked to have played him? Or
I don't think anyone would like to play Rafa out of players that he has won 17 times. Sorry, how much? 14? 14, yeah, it's all the same. Regardless of people say he's retiring and all that, still it doesn't matter. I mean, the guy has 14 titles, and I was obviously, that was a scenario that could be held. Sorry, that could be that was a scenario that could get on my way as a first round match, and yeah, it's I find it tricky. I find it tricky because, of course, people say he might not be at the best shape of his life, but he's still Rafael freaking Nadal, and he can still find ways to make it work on Philippe Chatrier, because that's where he's most likely to play. It's the court that has the best memories in. He has won countless of trophies there. He has figured out ways to win where he shouldn't have, let's say, on very few occasions, because most of them was like a big difference, but anyhow. So I think it's interesting that he's able to play a first round match, but in fact he should be seated, but he's not. So it's an interesting scenario.